1/4 inch piece of material that we cut and wedged in there to make a bridge so that we can have minimum amount of welding in here, but join this slug to that. This other one that's over on this side here is so close to that edge there, we're going to leave that one alone. So this is the last weld, welding this little piece in here, and then we're just going to put the blanket on and let it cool down real slow. Not that it's real critical, but we just don't want any mishaps. That was a rough one. Alright, our other chucks have got a tapped in hole here so that I can bring the gantry hook over here and I can go ahead and hook into it and hold it, and after I broke it loose, unscrew and suspend it, bring it out of the way, lower it down to the floor, pick up another one. This chuck here has never had a tapped in hole, and I'm not going to take it all apart to see where I can safely drill into it, stuff like that. I do know that the number 2 jaw holds the keyway upright, and that's how I like to install this up and down. And the key, when the key goes against each other, it's a straight surface for it to slide. And it's just how I prefer it. All right, now we want to be able to pick this up because more now than ever, because I don't have my right arm like I normally do, and I'm giving in. I'm going to actually start using some helping aids more than I have been to lift the heavy stuff that I need to. I had this piece of material here. Actually, it's been welded here, or this was stubbed into here for some reason, but I went ahead and I cut this off, and this is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chuck up on this. Alright, now that we chucked up on this, we went ahead and we created a drawing so that we have the shape of the chuck, how far out our jaws are, how long this is, the diameter of this. Actually, I didn't write that on there. Alright, so that's 1.5 inches. Alright, we got out here. Alright. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go in on the plasma cutter and we're going to draw out a piece of flat stock that is going to be an arm that will come up here and come over here and then represent an eye here so that our hook can go through. So then all we're going to have is an eye on a rod, and we'll be able to just slip it in, tighten the chuck on it, and then it's going to give us our lifting eye where we want. And when we do it the first time, we'll also be able to see our balance on this and how far in and out. So I'm going to leave a little bit of room so that we can travel in, and I'm going to leave a little bit of room so you know, this does have a little bit of room to where I can travel or bring it out. But I pretty well believe that this chuck, pretty close in the center of this width right here, is going to be good because we're going to be above here as well. So that's going to give somewhat of a pendulum effect on that as well. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for right now. So let's go on in and we're going to cut out our part on the plasma table, and we better take this in here because we're going to go weld this in as well. Alright, I think we're ready to go. We're going to be cutting out this eye right in here, and 60 inches a minute, 60 amps. Clean on the back. We'll knock off the cross. We're going to weld it to our stud and we're ready to go. Okay, the key is sometimes don't try to make it too difficult, okay? This vise right here, let's just go ahead and grab it with the ground clamp. Now we know that we're going to be creating an arc and we're going to be okay. This is 1.5 inches, this is 1/4 inch, so that leaves 1.25 inches, 1/2 inch and 1/4 is 5/8. So we take this and we just lean it up against there, and we go ahead these tool bits here I've had for a long time, and that's all I do is keep them for setups. Alright, now we can go ahead and we can put that right against there and clamp it right here, and we'll be able to slide it back and forth. So we've got we want 1/4 inch on this end here and that end there, so we can roll the weld bead around there. We're going to use the wire feed. Alright, so we reach up here and grab our clamp, one of our clamps, and we got that locked right in there. Okay, we grab the machine, you ready, set. Helmet, gloves, stinger, purge gas, cut wire, alright, now when I do this, I like to tack each in there first. We're going to tack this one out here first. Now this MIG splatters a lot, and once in a while I get a little BB or whatever on my tool bits there, and then I just put them on the sander and knock them off. Like that. Didn't get no splatter on this time. I did get a little splatter on my angle, and the same thing there. I run on the sander. Alright. That looks good. We're going to go quickly check the fit. I like that. We'll be able to tighten that up. Be able to bring the hook over. Hook right in there, just like that. Alright, let's go finish our weld. We'll be happy with this one. We'll come back and pull our chuck out the first time using the lifting pin. Alright, just 2 quick beads. We're going to run right along here. Alright, other side. Alright, so we're gonna undo our chuck here first. I don't know if I'm gonna need a rawhide mallet or something like that. Let's see. Okay. Getting her down into the low gear there. And I might take that. Okay, and that breaks it loose. Alright, so she's broke loose now. Alright, now, and that's not too heavy, and we can probably hang that on the wall there somewhere. We can figure out what we can do. Alright, number 2 jaw, straight up. This in line with the number 2 jaw. And we're just putting that flush right there just so we can get a starting point. And I figured that lifting center here is going to be pretty well centered with the chuck here. And that's kind of what I was playing with. And bring the hoist over. And you still got to pop it loose. The nut's loose, but there we go. And I had the power off. That's what this little one is here. You can actually take the power right off of there. Okay, and I can lift it and it'll cock on there. And just so we don't have any mishaps, just lay my cloth here. That's hanging almost dead nuts. I can't see anything out either way. So we know that this flush with our jaws right here is gonna be pretty good. You know, can you see that? Alright, we can lower this down to the floor. We're going to pull our gap because we're going to be putting in our faceplate. And we need the full swing right in there to run the faceplate. Cool. Yeah, let me grab. Now let's set this down. But I'm gonna grab a seat. Okay. Sometimes when you're setting up a faceplate and stuff on the lathe, now I know that I can lift this chuck up with the hoist or this faceplate up with the hoist and get it up in position there. But sometimes it pays off to go ahead, and I know I got that alignment sleeve there, and I can kind of eyeball with that in the sleeve there kind of what it's going to be in position here, and then I can start kind of planning out what I want to hold this down with. And actually I put a couple temporary toe clamps in a couple of these grooves right here, just holding down the part, and then I can go ahead and indicate this and kind of get it centered in there, or I can leave it running off. All we want to do is face this, so it doesn't really mean that it has to be concentric with this. But it would be nice to have the spirals come in and meet this right here. And we may be skimming over some of this right here. I've got that set in there. I'm happy with it. I'm not going to try to move it or do anything with it. So I'm just going to take so that we got clean face going across here, and then we can set up, and we're going to set up to these two holes right here, and then those two holes will be drilled and tapped in relationship to our jig once again. We'll set that back up there in the mill and poke out those holes. Alright, I pulled all the fasteners out. 2 Allens to go down, and then 2 socket head screws. They're all socket head screws. 2 1/2" going in that way, 2 3/8 going into the face here. And basically break this loose. I always float this in with oil, and it keeps it from rusting. Keeps it nice and smooth, keeps all the surfaces real nice in here. And you can see right there, that's the mate to this face right here. And I keep those in pristine condition. And you know, I've been pulling this gap off and on probably regularly, at least once a month, since 1994. When 94, 95, the end of 94 is when I picked up this lathe. And anyway, I've always pulled the gap out, and I put it back in, and I line it up, and you know, I use it. I use it on, and I use it off. Yeah. Anyway, I'll go set this on the chair. Alright, this is our bell center. This is the largest center we have, and we're not going to be able to hold this in there, hold a light pressure against the faceplate up in the lathe there. This don't weigh much, and this would be ideal to go ahead and just lock this in and put this in the bell center in here, hold it up while it's upright, and go ahead and put some toe clamps on here. What we're going to do is, I'm just sighting right straight down through here, and I'm going to call that center right there. And we're going to toe clamp this piece right down to here. Then we're going to lift up, put the faceplate with this already pre-mounted on in the lathe, and then we're going to go ahead and cut it. Okay, I was actually able to get, this is one hole here where the alignment sleeve goes through that hole. That's lined up, and I have a bolt in here. Here's a T-nut slot, and I have one in here. And this is fairly true to the bore. And I think we're going to go ahead and go for it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean up my taper. And very important that you fit your tapers clean, just like you fit the gap in the lathe. All of these metal to metal surfaces, they're going to go together clean. Now, if we were doing permanent fits forever, I would never oil a taper fit, because they do tend to get loose. Only use light oils, and once in a while you might want to retorque your nut just to make sure that you don't have anything loosening up, because when you first tighten up, liquids will create a hydraulic lock, and then they will become loose later. Alright, we cleaned up the taper here. You want that to be nice and clean. And we blew and cleaned this out here. We do have to put this in neutral so we can pivot this the right direction. And it's down about like so. And we'll look at it when we get it closer. I like Z45 myself for light oil. And keeping a nice cast finish. I'm not trying to blow it away, I'm just trying to blow any grit that might have just got loosened up by me rubbing it around. Alright. When I get a chance, I'll be moving that around where I want it to be. When you can set that key right on the top there, you are up and down a line. This here, you have to kind of lift it till the threads align exactly so that you can spin that nut on. Yeah, we're within about 1/8 of an inch. But looks like about a 1/4 inch total run out there. Alright, now let's go ahead and we're going to get a couple more bolts in around this face here. And then we'll be able to set up and actually come across and create a face cut on this. Well, here's the real ball buster on this video. I actually have to admit defeat. I've lost the footage for the rest of this video. And I can't make an excuse. See, to me, excuses are just the reasons combined in a pot, and you mix all of those around and you massage them until you are comfortable and accept it and rubber stamp your own bullshit and then feed it back to you. That's an excuse to me, and the only difference between an excuse and a reason is the rubber stamping. So I do want to say that you know, that the job came out 100% perfect, and that was rubber stamped by the customer. Anyway, Michael's happy and he's putting the project together. Unlike some of my other videos, you have a chance to actually follow through and actually see how this project in it up and going into its assembly and everything else. So Michael's Facebook there and the Monster site that he has, he's got postings, and he's keeping you up on his project of putting the Cummins into the Chevy itself, and a few other pictures of the other work that he's doing on the Chevy. So he's not just doing the mechanicals and stuff like that. He's getting in and he's doing some welding, he's doing some fabrication and engineering and all of that kind of things, and he's making this crazy truck. And it's great. It's a neat project. I like how he's enthused in it and all of that, and just as much as I am in you know, everybody's project. In fact, I get asked sometimes, hey, the price of that project. I don't do videos to say this is how you do them. This is how I do them, or I can do them, because I have been in the trade for so long now. I may take another road just because I've been down that one so many times. Let's go down this one here, and I like all the comments that are coming in, because you guys are telling me how many other, and sharing how many other roads there are to go down, and that's fantastic. A couple things that actually come about in this video is, one, my lifting device for my 3-jaw chuck. Now, I've seen them before, and I've had 3 or 4 people come in and either give me a video link or actually create a drawing and send it in and stuff like that. I appreciate it. Yes, getting around to it, sometimes that's one of the hardest things to actually find in your shop. Anyhow, I've got some really nice photos of the finished part of the job. I did have those. I didn't lose, when I was loading the materials into the lathe, and when I was loading the materials into the computer, which sometimes when I first had it, I was trying to drive it like a lathe, and that didn't work too well. See, now with videos, you really do explode the amount of gigabytes that you use, and I tag out that 1 TB hard drive and the extra one that's in there. You know, I maximize those with almost every video, just as, you know, other creators, authors do themselves. I'm in that position there. I have some video footage that I'm actually saving to create the video down the road here, because I've got the job sitting in here, so that raw footage is where all your space is really taken up, and I can probably dump some of that into external hard drives and, you know, help me out. So anyway, I'm rambling for a second here. Let's take a break. All right, so the basics of what actually happened was I shoot live, so I'm here and I'm talking in front of the camera, and that's the material I use. I don't commentate my videos there at a certain point there. Not that I won't do some in the future. Anyhow, the mat track job, we're still going on that, and I was going between feeding this video in between working on my mat track project, and we're going to be getting right back onto that today. So I've taken a little bit of time, and our Columbus Day weekend is kind of one where you can choose to take it here in New England, and I was going for a little recoup on my shoulder and hanging with the family, and also I was kind of depressed because I sent some beautiful footage that I had on video out in cyberspace somewhere, and lost it, and just flat out screwed up. Anyhow, I do have some finished pictures, and of course I don't have anything of actually watching that spin in the lathe, which was pretty cool, but I do have 2 still shots, and the reason why I have those is because I took those with my camera phone and was trying to send those to Michael to actually show him, and also on my Facebook page as well. And then also I incorporated, so I got a little bit of a photo shoot here at the end here, so that you guys could actually see some close-ups of the finished work. and how it's being applied on Michael's project. Okay, just a short cap of how the project went. You know, after a holiday, Tuesday is just like Monday. Short cap on what went on from where I was at. Of course, I had the bell housing mounted to the faceplate. I did get 2 pictures of it spinning in there, so I have that in the final conclusion slideshow to this video, and a lot of other photos that will carry you on to actually physically give you something to look at. And the transmission is bolted to the transfer case, the truck is going in, and Michael doing some work on it. So all of those kind of come in the end. After I faced that off in here, we went back to the Bridgeport there, and I just located the holes very similar to how I located the holes to create the openings for the slugs and the 2 pilot holes, and then hand tapped them out right there. And after that, the part was done. So we were so close to the end, but I did have footage, and I'm sorry that you guys didn't get to see it actually spinning in the lathe there. What can I say? Try not to make it happen again. But I'm not going to make any excuses. Alright, rubber stamp. Anyway, we're getting hot and heavy on the mat tracks here, and we're going to get farther along with Brian's job. And I have some other things that are going on here. I have an auto car hood that's half standing up on the table in the other room by the plasma cam. It's been sitting there for a while. I'm working on a problem child area that I'm child. It's Paul Child's hood. Anyway, I have some other things coming up. I also have a hydraulic motor sitting here on the floor with a 14-2 spline. Oh, it looks like it's about 1 inch and 7/8 or so diameter. And I'm going to have to create a female spline coupler for this motor, and that's going to be coming up here soon. So these are things that I got in mind for videos. I have a lot of other work that's just not going to be a video. I just don't have enough time to run the camera all the time. I thank you guys very much for your views, your comments, and everything else. All right, let's go get her done.